Hi, this is Gavin Hunt watching LekkerTV.
Come on! There, that's perfect, Gavin. Hi, this is LekkerTV. I'm your host, Benny, here to get you the best advice for young people from the best people in the world. As you know, I'm proud of my South African heritage, and we've got the most successful South African manager going, Gavin Hunt, 4-time South African Premiership winner and current manager of Kaizer Chiefs. How you doing, Gavin? You good?
I'm lekker to see you.
Are you? You know, Gavin, as I said before, it's hard to explain lekker to English people, but if I'm interviewing a South African, I don't even have to say anything.
Yeah. Lekker is a word you can use for food, you can use for girlfriends, you can use for cars.
Alcohol.
It's the best word in the world. It's
Alcohol.
the most descriptive word. Yeah, alcohol, anything. So, yeah,
All right.
it's lekker.
So, Gavin, you started out as a football player before manager. Can you sum up your football career quickly for us?
Yeah, I played for a professional, obviously you go through the juniors, but I played for a professional club called Hellenic. It's a club that had many English stars that came over. Gordon Banks, Bobby Moore, Jeff Hurst, Ian St. John. They all played for the club when I was in the juniors, obviously.
Did you ever play with them?
They were there in the 70s, and it was a big football club. Big support base, based in Cape Town, and
Yeah, and you played during the apartheid years, which is
we obviously had to do.
So tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, everybody, as a white South African, you had to do national service. So we went. That was the biggest blow to my football career because I was 18, played a year in the professional ranks, and then had 2 years to go to the army. In the bush, and so that was you just stop your football career. You end up playing amateur league, So that's a very sad part. It's a sad part, but in those days, as a white South African, we didn't really know any different,
Yeah, but as my dad, he's talked about how he played sport in the apartheid years, and he flew to England, I think it was, for a tour, and it was during the apartheid years. They turned him around in the airport and they said, "You can't play. You come from apartheid South Africa, and we can't condone the tour."
Yeah, It was very sad because as a footballer growing up, we didn't have a national team. We were banned by FIFA, and obviously our rugby teams were banned, the cricket teams were banned. In all sports, it was really sad.
So, Gavin, what made you get into coaching, and then talk about the success that followed? Because it's been pretty quick for you, the success.
Well, obviously the playing career came to an abrupt end. What I used to do when I was still playing, I used to coach the provincial team, Western Province, and you would know, which is like Sussex or Surrey, so I coached the Western Province under 18 team, the schoolboy team. So I used to do that in the afternoons, and I started coaching.
How old were you then, Gavin, when you were doing that?
I was about 20. I was in my early 20s, 24, 25.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah, and then one thing led to the next. They made me the South African under 18 coach while I was still playing.
So, Gavin, how similar do you think it would be to coach in England as it is South Africa?
I think South Africa, there's a lot of other things that have come into play. I think the biggest problem with South Africa is the professionalism of the players.
Really?
Because generally, 90% of the players, 99% of the players come from poor backgrounds. So, and it's like that around the world, but not as bad. And they really come, and once they get a little bit of financial gains, things start going out the window, you know what I mean? Like everything. So that is the biggest stumbling block. The other thing is obviously the mentalities and a lot of these guys don't have education. So it's a besides being a football coach tactically, there's a lot of other things. They haven't come from any decent academies where they've come through a system where they've had good understanding of disciplines in positions. So it's a big ask.
Yeah. So. Why do you think there's so few South Africans playing or managing in the Premier League?
Well, I think I mean this honestly, we've got some highly qualified guys in South Africa. There's some really good guys, but in the real world of football, I always say the people look at your national teams, and if your national team is doing well, then you sort of then you got good coaches or good players. That's how it works, I think. So Brazil, there could be some poor coaches, but they've got coaches all around the world, but they're poor, some of them, you know what I mean? But they get jobs because they're Brazilian. And so look at the English Premier League. It's all the foreign. They don't believe in their own coaches. But we've got some good ones here. We got some lekker coaches here. You know what I mean?
Gavin, we're moving on to the lekker feature because I think we've covered your background, I think, and your expertise. So, because you're South African and I'm in England and I still love my heritage, I've done a quick history of football, South Africa and England. So there might be some questions about SA, some about England, or some about both. So you ready, Gavin?
I'm ready, son. I'm lekker.
Right, first one's easy. You should get this. Who scored the World Cup opener in 2010 for South Africa?
Shabalala. Shabalala.
Of course.
Easy.
With the dance.
Yeah.
That was a great goal, though. That was a great goal.
I think if I can miss hit it.
That was an arrow.
It hit the bobble and it set up and he just whacked it. Great goal.
It was a great goal. It was iconic. Shame.
Great goal.
Yeah, shame they conceded at the end though.
Yeah,
I know. Right, Gavin. Next question. Who did Benny McCarthy play for in the Premier League between 2006 and 2010?
Blackburn Rovers.
You're too good.
Piece of piss.
How many goals did he score overall in that 10 year? Have a guess. To the closest 10.
How many games did he play?
Oh God, you've got me there. I'm not sure.
100.
Gavin.
You play 100
odd? Yeah, probably 100.
So then he must have got about, I would think, in the 40 to 50 goals, somewhere around there.
37, not bad guess. Which South African player made the most Premier League appearances of all time?
Of all time, South African player.
Yeah.
Lucas Radebe.
No.
South African player. Must go back earlier then.
No, not earlier. Later. In the noughties and into the 2010s.
Jesus, you got me now. This is.
It was good because you were getting them all right. So.
Sean Bartlett. No, it couldn't have been Sean.
No.
Benny.
No.
Fuck. Sorry, Stephen Pienaar.
Hey!
Sorry, that was bad of me.
Dude, don't worry, it's good if you get some wrong because we're getting them all right.
Yeah.
Right, and now we're moving on to the final bit, which is the whole point of the channel, which is the advice for young people. And you've had a really interesting career, so it's nice to get your opinion. Gavin, your career finished early because of an injury. So what would you advise a young footballer who sees an abrupt career change because of an injury, or any professional for that matter? Because it's hard to adjust, and I've seen a lot of big clubs can leave the people behind. They're doing a bit more now, but what would you say to young people in that position?
Well, I came from a different era because we pretty much worked. We had jobs and we played professional football, so that we could do it. And I was very lucky, but not everybody can become a coach. That's the one thing I say to all these the players that are playing now. They want to coach. I said, not everybody can be a coach, but in the game of football, there's a lot of other things to do. Physios, media, this, that. So there's a lot of opportunities for ex-players.
And Gavin, how do you stay the best? How do you maintain it? Because it's hard to maintain a high standard.
There's no doubt there is better managers than other managers. Okay, there's no doubt. But those better managers have got better players. So, and people say, oh, look what he's won. Yeah, but look what he's worked. He hasn't worked at Stoke. He hasn't worked at Sunderland. He hasn't worked at, who's bottom of the league now, West Brom. So Sam Allardyce, he gets hammered as his relegation saviour. Has he ever had the chance at Man United? Has he ever had the chance at Man City? You know what I'm saying?
He had the chance with England.
Yeah, but he was ducking and diving.
So that's everything, Gavin. Thank you very much. You've answered everything, I think, beautifully. I hope to see you as the manager of United one day. We'll get you down to Old Trafford in rainy Manchester. Thank you, Gavin Hunt. Thank you, Gavin Hunt.
It'll snow in South Africa if I ever get that job.
Thank you, Gavin Hunt.
Okay.
I've been Benny. This has been LekkerTV. here again with perfect advice from the best people. See you next time.
Lekker seeing you. Well, I would leave you out the squad as well with that hairstyle.
Gavin. This would look good on you.
Nah, you wouldn't play. I swear, you wouldn't play in my team. You could be the best player. Make you cut your hair.